the most important technology we could possibly remember or that we could bring to the earth again is a method that clearly breaks down your soul's purpose and shows you how to live it in every cell in a very precise, detailed, effective way.
The journey has been absolutely amazing. Living your soul purpose is just changed my life. And what I love about being on purpose is that my life is just effortless. I step into the light, I make a decision, I do it, and that's it.
One of the really exciting things for me has been meeting like-minded people who are just interested in aligning, going to the light and connecting to soul family, soul friends, soul community.
My dream is for every human on this earth to be crystal clear on their soul purpose and live it. It's not an accident that you're listening to this podcast. And then the question is, do you feel the call to know your purpose in greater detail? And ultimately it comes down just to that. It's like inside you already know. Go for your yeses. Go for what lights you up. It's as simple as that.
Welcome back to a special edition of the Humankinder podcast. I am joined today by Soul Alignment Method founder Myles Treanor and Cian Murphy, who's a budding soul alignment mentor and psychotherapist from the beautiful Cork in Ireland. And today we're going to be discussing something which is a very beautiful conversation and also a very interesting place to dive into. And it's the whole area of remembering your soul purpose. And purpose is sometimes a hotly debated topic. It's quite a confusing topic. Questions like, is there even any purpose? Is there any meaning at all? Or is purpose really just about career? And we're going to myth bust a little bit here and dive into, first of all, our own story of why are we so passionate about purpose and specifically soul purpose. Myles, I'll throw it to you first, and I'd love to hear your story of what has been your journey to really uncovering this whole area of soul purpose and why are you so passionate about it?
Feel this question of who am I is the most helpful question that I've ever asked myself. And I feel that experiencing the answer to that was the most satisfying experience of my life. And once I experienced that, I start to realize that the source of who I am is the source of purpose. And when I experienced that place inside me, I started to remember who I am and what I'm here to do. I started to remember what I really love to do, what makes me feel alive. I started to realize what turned me on in life, what got me excited, what got me inspired, and what gave me a deep sense of meaning. And as I started to realize that, I started to remember my why my soul came to this human experience. And when I realized that, I also realized that, this is every human's dream, is to remember who they are and why they're here. And now that I've remembered, my next step is just to focus on it on a regular basis and to bring it into reality, to align my career, relationships, to align my lifestyle, my physical health, to align it with what my soul wants to experience. And so then I realized, the essence of this journey is to align with my soul's purpose. And so as I realized this, I started to really live my dream and live in a place where I was feeling alive every day. I'm feeling inspired every day. I'm feeling driven. I'm feeling like life force is coming to me every morning, every evening, every night. And then I start to realize, this is what it means to live in purpose, to live in the states of purpose. And so eventually I start to realize that this is a repeatable process that I'm going under. And so I eventually start to remember that this is a method. And so Soul Alignment Method was born. And my dream then was, I want others to experience what I'm experiencing. I want others to remember who they are. I want others to live it in every cell. And so I'm here to live my soul's blueprint. I'm here to live it in every breath, in every action, in every thought. And that's my dream for all others, all other humans, is to experience that same thing. And so eventually I met you, Cian, and Cian. And so now we're here. We're now on a journey of living our soul purpose.
Yeah, I love it. So much to unpack there, Shane. I'll come to you for your story in a moment. I just wanted to feedback the structure you outlined there, Myles, which was you awaken to the understanding that you're more than the body, more than the mind, more than just the human identity, that you're a soul having a human experience, and that soul is beyond the human. And in essence, that soul is a fragment of God, a fragment of all that is. And you didn't stop there. You said, well, that's interesting, and I could rest here. But also I noticed that there are certain things that truly light me up. There are certain aspects of life that I feel really motivated to experience. And I know it because it lights me up. It feels expansive and it resonates with me. And so you started to come and follow those things rather than just stay in a space of I'm the soul and I'm an awareness and I'm sitting here cross-legged and meditating in a cave. You are saying that the purpose is to awaken, and then we have a sort of mission here, and we have to live that mission in our human body and bring the soul down. Is that an accurate understanding of the structure you're pointing to here in reality?
Purpose is who we are. And when we experience who we are, we start to realize purpose and how it works. It's many beings have come to this earth and have remembered the same thing. And so when you experience that you are much greater than these thoughts, that you're much greater than these sensations, that you're the one observing the mind, observing the body, that you're something greater, you start to ask yourself, well, who am I? And so you start to experience this great sense of space. I am the space of awareness. And then once you're there, you start to spend more time there and you start to realize, wow, this feels so expansive. It feels so spacious. Who I really am is beyond limits. And when you go to that place inside of yourself, you'll start to notice and observe that there's certain things that light you up, that lights this human up, that makes it feel alive. It gives it a sense of inspiration. It gives it a deep sense of meaning. And you start to notice that there's certain things that I focus on that trigger me into those states of purpose, those light states. And I start to realize that the lighter states you access, those are the states that are closer to the source of who you are. And those states are what I call lighter states. And when you focus your attention on things that make you feel drained, heavy, apathetic, angry, they start to feel more heavy and dense in your body. And those are states that are further away from the source of who you are, further away from the light. And you start to notice that as a human, we can put our attention on light things or heavy things. And so I realized the nature of purpose, which is that we have free will with regards our attention. You can put your attention on anything you want right now. You can put your attention on any state. So the question is, how do you want to live? And so as you spend more time, you start to realize naturally, I prefer to live closer to the light. I prefer to live in alignment. I prefer to live in the flow state. I prefer to live in passion, in inspiration, in determination, in aliveness. I prefer those states. It's a natural realization. And so it's like all plants, all animals go to the light. It's like it's just a natural realization that all beings that get to that place will remember that the light, getting closer and staying in alignment with your higher self, with your soul, with the source, with God, staying in alignment with that just becomes more enjoyable. It's a natural realization.
Yeah, thank you for that. And this really explains for me why enlightened beings like Buddha, like Christ, like sages who walk the earth now, like Sadhguru, like Muji, they're not passive. They make decisions. They go about the world. There's a certain destiny that they play out. And so I like how it connects the spiritual awakening with your action in the world. And so, Cian, how did you then get caught up in all of this?
I've kind of realized that now that I'm kind of reflecting on it, I suppose to get to this stage, it actually started way before I actually met Myles. I think I was just actually starting to step into soul alignment beforehand. When before in my life, I was kind of jumping from job to job, didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I kind of had this epiphany, this what looked like at the time an epiphany. Oh, why don't I become a therapist? Because I, really enjoy that. Back to college at 40 years of age and never did third level education, failed my leaving cert. It was a massive step for me to actually go into third level education and to go back to college to become a psychotherapist. And I mean, to go from running supermarkets to being a psychotherapist seems like a massive change. So now I reflect back on that time and I go, because I look at that time and it just was a decision. It was just literally, I now look at it, I stepped into the light, didn't know it at the time, and I actually made a decision to go to college. And it was, like I said, it was a life-changing decision for me because it has changed my life 100%. So at 40 years of age, went back to college. 5 years later, 45 years of age, became a psychotherapist. Again, moments happened in life where I just literally went from the old career into psychotherapy and stuff like that. And it just completely changed my life. Just stepping into psychotherapy, understanding an awful lot more about the world and how the world operates and how people operate and stuff like that. And then move on to 2 years ago. I remember walking into City Hall in Cork and at one of these conventions with yoga and all that sort of stuff. Felt very uncomfortable. Like kind of wouldn't normally be my world. So I walked around twice, 3 times, and I was like, okay, there's something drawing me to that stand there, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was, and it wouldn't normally be something I'd just walk up to and do. But I just walked up to it, and I met this lovely gentleman here, Myles, and we got talking. And I don't even think I can't even remember what he said to me because I literally was thinking, sign me up. I was just literally sign me up. So I remember I met him and I said, okay, how much do I need to give you for your time? And he said, oh, whatever amount he said. I said, there you go. I handed the money over and everything. And he was like, okay, but you just turn up on the Zoom call, like, and I was like, yeah, Grant, I trust you. Here you go. And that was it. That was it. Like I literally was like, I was. It was like I knew before I even got to the stand that this was it. I literally was like, oh, this is me. Like this is what I need in my life. I need to find, even though I knew I was in purpose, there was something kind of missing in my life. I kind of felt a little bit, you know, a little bit all over the place. Shouldn't be saying that as a psychotherapist, but just not quite. Things weren't quite clicking in my life. There was, my personal life. There was my work life. The balance, just something was off. So then I met Myles, as I say, and the journey has been absolutely amazing. Like, living your soul purpose is just changed my life. And I mean that, lads, it has changed my life 100%. Who I was this time, even a year ago, 2 years ago, is vastly different in my life now. And what I love about being on purpose, being in the light, being connecting in, is that it just feels effortless. It just feels just just it's actually hard to explain effortless because it's just I suppose you can see it in my face. You can see the way I am, getting to know both like Cian as well, like over the last while and stuff like that. It is just, my life is just effortless. I step into the light, I make a decision, I do it, and that's it. Even like 3 years ago, I set up a community market. And again, I hadn't met Myles at that stage. Me, a psychotherapist, wouldn't have known how to set up a community market. It just literally was like, we need this. We need a community market in the town I live in, y'all. And I just set it up. So it's just like, I make a decision, and I know that that's the right decision. And then everything else doesn't matter, because once you're in the light, all decisions are on purpose, and that's it. So it's a very short, that we managed to do 15 years there in a couple of minutes. So that's probably close enough to what the light has meant to me, what living my purpose and living on purpose has meant to me.
I love your passion, and I completely resonate with that feeling of excitement about life that was missing in my life as well for a long time, because you pointed to something really interesting, which is that you can be on purpose in career. Like, you can align your career and be starting to do more stuff in psychotherapy. And that was no doubt a massive step into who you really are and why you were here. And yet it's only one aspect of purpose, because there's other parts are starting to align for you now. Your relationships, your lifestyle, even your physical health, these other aspects, building into community. I think it's so important to acknowledge that purpose is everywhere in your life. It's not just that one piece. And that's what I hear in you. You're like, there was something missing, even though I'm aligning here and I'm aligning there. It's like this process of, as I actually connect to the light, and that's a very specific meditation, that when I can remember and I get insights from the light, my life starts to align in all areas. And I think that's part of the beautiful process. And that for me has, similar to yourself, it's been happening for a while, but I was never consciously doing it before I met Myles 2 years ago also, which was at a festival where it was a gathering, and it was on the last night. And I had seen Myles on the first day, and I remembered him because we were in university together. And I had seen him on Facebook over the years, and I was like, oh, this lad has lost his mind. This lad has gone off and he's jumping in the Ganges in India. And I was like, he doesn't really understand spirituality. Like, I've been working spiritually for the last 10 years and I really get spirituality. I'm very grounded in my spirituality. And so my ego was blocking me from even speaking to him until the very last night. We happened to be right beside each other. And I just said, you know what? Something in me just said, just get over yourself and just talk to him, even though he's clueless. Right? And I was like, I'll tell him all I know, right, about spirituality. It'd be a great opportunity to educate him now because he's lost his way. And so then within about 2 minutes of speaking to him, I was like, oh no. Oh no. I was like, he is way ahead of me in this. I was like, and then from that, and I was just asking him questions, and then he was sharing different things about his story, and I was sharing about my story. And I just knew then, it was like there was a magnetic pull. And I never understood what people said when they said, when you find your path, you'll know your path. And I'd practiced many different paths, but the soul alignment path just gripped me. And then I realized that I actually didn't have a practice in my life that I could depend on to connect to my true self. I thought that I was my true self already. And when I started meditating in the soul alignment way, and when I connected to the light, I realized that I had been living on the surface of my life. I had been living with just what my mind, and I was reacting to the emotional things around me and reacting to my past conditioning. And I'd been doing a lot of healing work as a psychotherapist myself. I'd done a lot of healing work on myself, and I thought maybe my healing work was done. But then I realized through working with Myles that I had only scratched the surface on that as well. And this whole area of purpose I had lost faith in, because often in psychotherapeutic circles, you can get into this, oh, there is no meaning apart from the meaning we create. There is no real purpose. So you decide the purpose. And what I realized as I worked with Myles and got into the alignment state and started to ask questions of that deeper part of myself was that there was a purpose, a set of elements of purpose that were uniquely mine. And it really does feel like I'm remembering them. And the upcoming course that we're doing is called Remember Your Soul Purpose. And I'd love to hear from you, Myles. Why is that word remember so important here?
Remember your soul purpose. Because it's not finding your soul purpose. It's very different. It's actually about listening and tapping in to the deeper part of you that already exists now. And when you do that, then you will start to remember. You will start to remember what it is that you're here to do, what it is that drives you, what it is that lights you up, what it is that makes you feel alive. You'll naturally start to remember that as you just listen deeper. And as you access a deeper state of consciousness, I feel a natural consequence of that is you'll start to access that deeper information that's already there. And some people call that the blueprint, the information that's in the soul, the information that's waiting to come true to your heart, coming true to your brain. And when your brain starts to remember, that's when you intellectually start to understand. That is that. When you consciously realize, that is what drives me. I just had to get into a space of listening deeper to access that. And so life will bring you into many experiences. And what it will do is it will humiliate you to all that you're not until you reach humility. And humility is who you are. It's your true self. And so you can't run away from your true self. You can't run away from your truth. You can't run away from your purpose. It's waiting for you now. And that's a very different way to see it, is that the more you let go, the quicker you'll actually get to your purpose. The more direct you'll actually go on this journey. And so for me, it's like, who has the willpower? Who has the determination to let go? Who has the courage to let go of what they think they are? Because if you do have the courage, you will remember. And so with the soul alignment method, you'll be able to become clear on what it is that lights you up. What is your purpose? What is your why? What's the essence of it? What are you here to do in your career, relationships, lifestyle, physical health? You'll get access to that. And so Remember Your Soul Purpose is a 6-week group course, and it brings that to you. It brings that access so that you can remember. And so you will be able to see your soul blueprint broken down in detail. You'll be able to see the struggles and, you could say, your karma of your soul also. And you'll see how they're linked together. You'll see how the struggles of your life are interlinked with your purpose, with your passion. And so whatever your struggles are, you're here to turn that into art. You're here to turn that into music, into service, into business, into some kind of, you're going to turn your struggles into lessons. And when you share those lessons, that's what other people will resonate most with. So what are you here to share? What are you here to teach? Is the lessons from your core struggles. And so this is just a method to clearly point to the process. It's not something that's completely new. It's just that a lot of people who have had these deep experiences have realized this. But unfortunately, there's not many methods that break it down. And especially in modern day, we need structure. We need more structure to this process, because right now the current narrative of purpose is like, oh, my purpose is to be love. My purpose is to be a light. My purpose is to be nice person. My purpose is to serve people. And I say, that's a nice sentence, but how do you access love? How do you express it? How do you access service? How do you express it? How do you access peace? And how do you express it? Because you have an individual way that gets you there. And that individual way is your blueprint, it's your purpose. And so the answer of, I'm here to be love, I'm here to be peace, these answers are no longer, you could say, good enough, or no longer satisfying, because you can know your purpose in so much greater detail. So I commonly get the feedback that people say, wow, I never knew that I could know my individual purpose. I never knew that I had one. And I feel like we're in a new time, a new earth, a new consciousness, where the collective field is starting to believe more in themselves. They're starting to have a greater sense of belief. And I feel like the soul alignment method is a much greater clarity. There's a much greater roadmap now for people who just want to get their purpose broken down and live it. And no longer just the generic things anymore. No longer just this generic, abstract form of spiritual guidance. It's more like, okay, what exactly am I here to do? And how do I remember it? And how do I access it? And how do I live it? So for me, what motivates me is precision, effectiveness, efficiency. And so this is why there's a method.
Yeah, one of the things about the method that impressed me as a student was that it wasn't either overly vague or overly specific. So it wasn't just your purpose is career and it's you got to pick something like saving the planet, or it's not just to be love. It was actually connect to inner to who you are, draw down the core elements of what lights you up. So like there are 5 or 6 main patterns behind your life. You know, for me, one of them is transformation, which comes from growing up in an environment where there was a sense of hopelessness that people could transform or could grow or that things could be fixed. And that motivated me from a young age to get into psychotherapy and to heal and to do some of this work. And this transformation, this element of transformation bleeds out now into all aspects of my life. The relationships, like connecting with you on a relationship level, Cian and Myles, is like I'm interested in people who are also interested in transformation. And I work with clients and transformation occurs there. In my physical health, transformation of my body was a huge thing. And so like the purpose element then coming down into your actual life, your career, your relationships, how it bleeds into everything. And that's just an example of one element, but I love that it was the big themes that come from your wounds and then how it specifically comes down into areas of your life and then how you specifically set goals and track it monthly, 6 monthly and yearly. I think it's like it has to be both understood at the abstract and all the way down to concrete. And I think that ties like the psychological world and the self-development world with the spiritual world in a way that I never experienced them being tied together before. And one of the things I noticed that you spoke to, Myles, was a lot of stuff has to be let go. And Cian, I'd be so interested in your experience of what has had to be let go and how did you discern what to let go and what to keep? Because I think the decision making is so difficult for clients I work with and for myself is how do I know what to let go and how do I know what to follow?
A lot of the work I would do with my clients would be about learning about what you're feeling and what exactly is going on for you in your world, within your own self. And when you can kind of figure out what you're feeling and what you're connecting in, I suppose, in a way, connecting in with your soul, with what we're talking about here. And I feel that the psychological aspect of it, I suppose, I feel that in general, things with psychological aspect of it have got a little bit pulled too much into the theory world and away from the spiritual aspect of it. Whereas I would be very much in about connecting in with your feelings, your emotions, your spiritual aspect of things. And, I'm hearing what you're saying. Like, I mean, for me, I suppose I just want to get across like that living in a soul alignment is what we're saying here. Like it's everything encompassed. It's your whole lifetime. It's not just like you come to a therapist, you go in, you have one session a week or whatever you have, or one every 2 weeks or whatever, and then you go in, you go on with your life. But the big thing about being aligned with your soul is that it's everything. Everything. And when you truly step into it, again, I'm going back to the word that I said earlier on, which is it's effortless. Because you notice that everything else around you, the things that didn't serve you well, just fall away. They don't bother you anymore. They're not there. Like, they're there, but it's just like they don't bother me anymore. Like, I mean, the things that might have, like, I mean, I suppose, going back for me, I struggled with anxiety for nearly 20 years of my life. Like, and I now know an awful lot more about anxiety. Like, and we get so caught up in the thought process and, oh, what's going on, and worrying about what other people are thinking and all that sort of stuff. But now that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, because once you're in the light, it just falls away. It doesn't feel like work with this. Like, you just step in and, you were talking about health. I haven't been unwell, sick, or whatever word you want to say, in over 2 years. Sniffle, cough, anything. And that's because everything with my life, how I eat, what I do, get out in nature. We have a bit of sunshine here in Ireland today. And it just, my life, it's just, everything just flows. My day flows. It just flows from, I get up in the morning and it just literally flows. There's no effort, there's no nothing. I just get up. Before with my anxiety, I'd be worried about, oh, what if this is done and what if that's done and how will I get that done and all that sort of stuff. But I don't worry about that anymore. And the other great thing that has helped with Myles is that structure, because I feel that's kind of lost. It's kind of like what you were saying earlier on about, before you met Myles, it was like, I know all about spirituality. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm sorted. I don't need it in life. Whereas when you actually step into understanding about your purpose and about the light, it's structure. It's an actual something to learn. You know what I mean? Like, working with Myles, like, Myles is so precise, as he said, which is absolutely brilliant. That's what I need in my life. I need someone that's focusing me and keep me focused and go, stay in the light, stay in the light, stay in the light. But we word and over again what he said. And that's kind of what I need. And the method is an actual physical structure, which is great, because with spirituality, I feel that there's so much out there. There's Buddha, there's so much stuff that's out there, but we need to kind of have that structure. We need to say, right, Shane, this is what you do the first stage. This is what you need to do in the second stage. This is what you need to do in the third stage. And that's absolutely brilliant, because it keeps people in aligned. Because in society at the moment, people are just jumping all over the place. You look at social media, they're jumping from one TikTok to the next TikTok to the next TikTok. So they need focus. They need to be able to be told, this is what you need to do, and it works.
When you have experienced the light of your true self, you are suddenly beyond emotions, you're beyond thoughts, you're in a space of pure awareness, and you can observe your previous anxiety and you can realize, I'm more. And then in phase 2 of the method, there's the healing, which is, as I am more than this anxiety and I'm aware of it, how do I use what I am, which is awareness, with my intention to understand and to bring love and kindness to those feelings, to actually integrate them, and to do that work where you, as the awareness, as the soul, you really listen to the human, what's going on. And there's an incredible thing that happens, that the soul's attention with kindness and with love and seeking to understand actually transforms those old heavy sensations, and it moves them and clears them out of the nervous system so they don't come up anymore. And that's a powerful part, and it also gives context to that healing, because you're now healing the nervous system and the trauma in order to embody your purpose more, in order to go towards who I truly am And I think that's a point I'd love to tease out a bit, which is I felt for a long time that what lights me up, what felt good to me, was a frivolous thing. It was like something you got to do after the real work was done. And that I couldn't actually speak what was true in my heart because that wasn't right. I just had to suppress that, and I had to go about and live the life that my father wanted me to live, or that my teachers wanted me to live, or that my career was asking of me. And I truly didn't understand that the purpose here is actually to follow the lightness. It's to follow the resonance. And so, Myles, I'd love to hear from you. Like, how did you develop such conviction that if I actually follow what feels expansive, that things are going to work out well for me, and there's something bad's not going to happen, or my life's going to fall apart, or it's all going to go wrong?
The simplicity of what a structure can do for us on this spiritual journey, and what a structure can do for us with regards holding us accountable to live in our purpose or live in our dream. And I feel the context of this is that it's actually very simple, and that it's not complicated to live your purpose. It's not complicated to find out what it is that makes you feel alive, what it is that makes you feel passion. It's not complicated. That's one of the key things in this process, is like, it's not complicated. It is simple. It doesn't always mean it's easy, but it is simple. And I feel that's one of the key things I want to just share here, is like, there's so much depth to this work, and there's so much nuance behind the scenes. But at the beginning, it's not needed. At the beginning, it's just, let's just make it simple. Let's just make it really, really simple. Do you want to feel happy? Yes or no? And if you do you want to feel alive often? Do you want to feel like you're entering a state of inspiration often? Do you want to be in a state of being determined, being driven? Do you want to enter those states regularly? Do you want to feel like a deep sense of meaning? Do you want to feel like that regularly? So do you want to live in these states often? Because if you do, that means that you want to live in what's called purposeful states. And when you're feeling alive, feeling passionate, feeling like driven, feeling inspired, feeling excited, feeling a deep sense of meaning, you're feeling what it's like to be on purpose. And so it's very simple. When you access those states, you're now accessing purposeful states. So then, can you do that on a daily basis? And when you do that on a daily basis, you'll start to realize, oh, happiness is a natural consequence of living in those places. When I am living in those places, that means that I'm in alignment with my soul, with my higher self. When I'm living in alignment, happiness is a natural consequence. Peace, satisfaction is a natural consequence of living in alignment. And so, to simplify everything we're talking about, alignment equals happiness. So alignment is the key to being happy. Alignment is what the nervous system regulates based on. The nervous system actually heals when you're more in alignment. Everything, your chemistry, your biology starts to rewire when the more time you spend in alignment. And my background in neuroscience, and both of your backgrounds are in psychotherapy. So we have this understanding of the brain and chemistry and neural networks. And there's so much research now about the importance of doing what makes you feel passion, doing what makes you feel alive. But I think in the future, there'll be research on the significance of alignment for the nervous system, the significance of what alignment does for your brain, for your heart, for your health. And I feel like the future of healing the physical body and mental health conditions is to study alignment. Because actually, when you look at the research on happiness, on the research on life satisfaction, go on AI and get it to access as many research papers as possible. Go into the depth of the 5 top reasons for life satisfaction, for people to be happy. And you'll see the 5 main elements. Number one, believe it or not, number one is purpose. It's your sense of a greater meaning. Number 2 is your sense of community connection, your quality connections around you. Number 3 and 4 is your physical, the health, the movement, and another one is diet, and the other one is nature exposure. So they're the 5 most common elements that people talk to about what gives them life satisfaction, what makes them feel happier. And so it's so interesting that human connection and quality of connection is number 2. It's such an important thing. But number 1 is purpose. Number 1 is purpose because purpose orders everything. Purpose, when you connect with your purpose, you can get over any life circumstance. You can overcome any challenge because you feel inside you there's a greater reason to this. There's a meaning to my struggles. That's so important for people to overcome challenges in life. And think about the whole paradigm of psychotherapy. It's based on the idea of I'm struggling with something internally. How do I overcome it? And I feel the most efficient and direct way is to go, what is your purpose? Are you clear on that? Because if you're not, then where is your attention going on a day-to-day basis? Because if we don't focus on what makes us feel alive, what makes us feel lit up, what gives us passion, then our attention's going to go on, oh, this is not good. This is bad. I'm struggling with this. Our focus in Ireland terminology, we can go from the shite to the light in any moment. So Oscar Wilde quote, we're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. So it's like he's saying that a lot of our attention, we're all in the gutter, we're all in this obstacle course called Earth. And some of us are looking at all the shite around us, all the drama. But actually, it's interesting. Some people are looking up to the stars and realizing, wow, yeah, what a beautiful experience. And so in this moment, we have a choice. You can focus on what's not going well in this moment, or you can focus on what is going well. It's completely up to you. And this is, again, the idea of free will. Where do you want to direct your attention? And it's so simple. It's like you can focus on the shite. And when you focus on shite, everything becomes that way. You start to think like shite. You start to talk like shite. You start to feel like shite. Everything becomes shite because when you focus on a state, everything becomes that. When you focus on something that inspires you, that lights you up, that you're looking forward to, everything starts to feel that way. Because where your attention goes, your life force goes. It's like you start to live from the state you're focusing on. So in this moment, can you focus what makes you feel alive? Can you focus on those questions and those purpose questions? And with this work, it's like really training us again to focus on the simplicity of what is it that makes you feel alive? What is inspiring you today? What is making you turned on today? What do you want to create? What is your life force flowing through you for? Why are you breathing? Why do you get up in the morning? Why are you still existing? Why bother? What's driving you? What gives you meaning in this moment? Ask yourself that question on a regular basis and your life will radically shift. So I feel simplicity, Cian, simplicity is something that's so important when we share this like work. It's like It's not complicated. To live your purpose is simple. It just requires focus.
In what you're saying is this redefinition of success, really. Because I grew up with the narrative that success was financial security or a financial abundance and a job that was respectable and maybe that you were interested in, but more important that you were important, you know? And so I'd love to hear, like, from you, Shane, like, how has your understanding of what success is changed as part of living your purpose?
What is success at the end of the day? It's at the moment in society, it's making enough money, getting the car, getting the house, getting all those kind of luxury items, all the yacht and all that sort of stuff, and living a better life and all that. Like, through the monetary aspect of things is probably where I see society sees things at the moment. But that's bullshit. That's not that's chasing a dream rather than living a dream. And when you step into understanding what your purpose is, and one of the big things about the purpose is the fact that you're remembering your purpose. So we've always known it. I came onto this planet. God created me. I came onto this planet. I knew my purpose, but I didn't know my purpose. So it's about remembering what your purpose is. And when you step into remembering what your purpose is, all the rest of the stuff doesn't matter, because all that stuff is there if you want it. Everything is happening in the here and now. Everything that we want and everything that we need is happening now. And I love that concept that everything is happening now. Because, I live present tense all the time. And everything that I want and everything that I want to create is happening now. So when you truly believe that and you live your life through purpose and knowing full well that within me, I trust 100% in me and only trust in me. And when I step into the light and actually trust in myself, I can actually create whatever I want. It's all there. It's all happening now. And it's just now. I don't know. It's like Eckhart Tolle talks an awful lot about when you live in the present moment, everything else, nothing matters, because all that matters is the now. And it's the same with living your life in the purpose.
Yeah, so success is essentially, am I on purpose now? Am I in alignment with the light now? Am I feeling that sense of connection to my soul now? Am I feeling in those expanded states now? So success is the degree to which I'm in alignment with my soul's purpose, is like the redefinition of success. And I think that for me is so important, because whether we know it or not, we all have gods. It's like one of the commandments in the Bible is, thou shalt have no false gods before me, which when you really unpack it, you realize that what are all my false gods? Right? My false gods are money, whether it's unconscious or not. It's money, it's security, it's comfort, it's doing what my parents wanted, it's people pleasing, it's what are all the reasons that I will sacrifice this feeling and connection to the light, this alignment? And so in other words, what are all of the things that can take my attention and command it? What am I afraid of? And so as soon as you wake up in the morning, like you said, Shane, when you have anxiety, or when you're experiencing anxiety, is that the anxiety and the thoughts in your mind will take over your attention and will keep it locked, like your most vital resource. And part of soul alignment method that I appreciate so much is training your attention to continuously focus on the presence of the light, of the presence of your soul in this moment right now. And it's so easy to come back to. That's what I love, is that you can be so lost in one moment and you just go, okay, no, pause, stop. I'm just going to literally sit in the car, close my eyes, connect to the base of my spine, go up with my attention up into the space above the head, connect to the light, feel the presence of the light, invite it down into my body, open my eyes, and then walk and keep my attention on the presence of the light. And that energetically just opens your system completely. And then suddenly all these challenges, all these problems, all these things that were so heavy and hard, they just fall away. And it's almost like this process of how can I hold my attention there more and more and more and more and more? It's like, how enlightened am I? Right? How much am I in the light? Am I walking around, am I holding it? And what will take me away from it? And I feel like that's a simplicity in essence of the practice of living it every single day, is to make that intention to put the light above all. And then to allow whatever will come up and whatever life will bring you to bring and test you, and it'll take away and give you opportunities to release all of your fears. Those terrible things will happen that you thought was so bad. And if you stay in the light, then that'll just pass out of your nervous system. Like the worst fears you could ever imagine was like, oh, that person actually hates me, you know? And the worst thing ever, they hate me now. And I'm like, but actually I'm here now in the light, in this moment, despite no matter what external condition. And I love that essence of simplicity. And then from that place, then what do I create, as you say, Cian? What flows from me? Myles, is there anything else you'd like to add and share about, that you feel like we haven't covered, about purpose and soul purpose and remembering it?
The beauty of that, what's available now, is there's a very simple process for everyone to do. And when they do this process, they can remember what they're here to do in their career, in their relationships, in lifestyle, in their physical health. There's a very clear method for this now. And it's such an honor to know what that is. And it's such an honor to share it and serve it to people. And my dream is for every human on this earth to be crystal clear on their soul purpose and live it. So the dream is a soul aligned world. And that's a world in which all beings have access to the resources that they need to remember their purpose and to live it. Because I feel it's every human's right to remember, to get access to that. I feel like it's almost like the most important technology that we could possibly remember, or that we could bring to the earth again, is a method that clearly breaks down your soul's purpose and shows you how to live it in every cell in a very precise, detailed way, effective way. I feel like that would be the most important technology for planet Earth to actually remember. Because at the end of your life, when you're about to go, it's like, that's all that's going to be there, is like, I'm returning home again. And why did I even come to this earth? I came to this earth to live my dream. I came to live my purpose. That's why I bothered coming in to this human experience in the first place. So then the question is, are you more scared of dying? Or is it more scary not to have fulfilled your dream? Not to have fulfilled what's in your heart? Not to have expressed what's inside you deep down? Is that more scary than death itself? Because what are we going to regret when we're about to go? We're going to regret what wasn't lived, what wasn't expressed, what wasn't brought out. And so when you go out of this vessel and come back to that space of the soul, when you're in that space, you'll realize this.
What a call to action. I absolutely love it. Cian, is there anything else you'd add?
How can you follow up that? Myles just puts it so elegantly, and I mean, he talks a lot about that. The whole reason of bringing us online for mentoring and stuff like that is that, we want to create more the students to become the mentors and to keep on that process, so that we eventually make, as Myles says, he wants to make himself obsolete, so that every single human being on the planet can live their soul purpose and live like this. I mean, what amazing! I mean, why would someone not want to do this? Why would you not want to be happy for the rest of your life, and continue to be happy and continue to find the things that light you up continuously. Every single thing. If it doesn't light you up, the rest is just bullshit. It's just no, don't need it in my life. I don't want to live that in my life. So if it doesn't light me up, why would I want to not live in this state of it lighting me up all the time? And it can be that simple.
One of the really exciting things for me has been meeting like-minded people who are just interested in aligning, going to the light, and connecting to soul family, soul friends, soul community. Myles, I'd love to hear from you. Like, what's the significance of finding that soul connection with others?
Sharing the light and sharing how beautiful it is to be in the light is the most enjoyable thing for me to do in this human experience. And to meet both of you is one of the greatest things that I've experienced as a human being in this lifetime. Like, one of the most enjoyable experiences is to re-meet you again. And I feel like there are no mistakes that I met both of you in the same 2 weeks. In September 2024, I met both of you. I met you, Cian, around a fire in Fuino Festival. And I met Cian, I met you down in Cork in your homeland, the Murphys, down in Cork, Mind Body Experience. And there's no way I could have written that and foreseen that in my mind's eye. It's just happened. It just happened. And now we're here in April 2026. And we're both, three of us are like, wow, we really enjoy this experience of living in alignment and sharing to people about that place and what it means to live on purpose. And I feel it's just all aligned effortlessly for all three of us to be here doing this. It's like almost like I didn't need any of this to happen. It's like I just want to live in alignment, whatever that looks like. And it just so happens to be that it's in alignment to know yous more, to be around yous more. And I feel like the most effortless relationships that I can imagine are ones that just seems to be that something higher is keeping us together. And it's almost like our purpose is what keeps us together, and our purpose is what's keeping our connection alive and building it. And that's why I realized then that purpose compatibility is what brings souls together. It's like purpose compatibility. And then relationship compatibility actually comes down to how similar is our purpose? Because the more similar our purpose, the more aligned the relationship will be, the more effortless it will be, the more expansive and light it will be. And then you realize that all of social media, they're trying to create a way or a system or a method so that you can socially connect. You can find people that you connect with. But the method that's being used is the idea of a photo, location, and little videos to say, this is what I'm doing. But the algorithm is not very effective at aligning you with people that you're going to have a deep connection with. And for me, even dating apps, there's such a drive to create better dating apps. And the idea is that I want to find someone I can truly connect with. But the algorithm and the method for that is very ineffective because it's not based on purpose. People don't know their purpose. So if you don't know your purpose, you don't know what you're here to communicate, you don't know what you're here to focus on, then how are you going to connect with someone if you don't even know what your purpose is? And so then it comes down to this. It's like, if I know my purpose and you know your purpose, it's very easy to know if we have compatibility as a relationship in general, because it's purpose that will keep us together. If your soul's purpose is to go this way and my soul's purpose is to go the other way, then by the law of souls, it's better for us to distance ourselves from each other because it's not purpose aligned. But if our purpose is going in a similar direction, then from a higher level, our relationship will keep aligning because it's meant to. So in simplicity, big news, The reason why relationships work is because they're aligned. The reason why relationships don't work is because they're not aligned. And so it's so simple, compatibility. And that's why I feel people knowing their purpose is such a beneficial thing for creating quality um, connections. And meeting your soul family is meeting the people that are most aligned with your purpose. And so through this course that we're sharing together, people are going to get access to their soul purpose, and they're going to then be in a community of people who also know their soul purpose very clearly. And we're going to all support each other and hold each other accountable to fulfill our soul purpose. And then it's very easy to then relate with each other because we all know our purpose. We all know what we're here to communicate. And naturally, then you're going to find your soul family. You're going to be drawn to your soul family because it's not a chance. It's not by chance that you're even getting access or even starting to go towards this work, soul alignment work. Everything's divinely orchestrated, and I feel like it's not an accident that you're listening to this podcast. It's not an accident that you're here right now, looking at the beautiful face of Cian Murphy and the charming smile of Cian McEnroe. It's not a coincidence. This is all by design, and I feel like you're all you're doing now is just remembering. Oh yeah, this is all meant to be, and I feel the call to listen to this. And then the question is, do you feel the call to go deeper with this? Do you feel the call to know your purpose in greater detail? Do you feel the call to join a community of people that are living their purpose and holding each other accountable to living their dream? Is that a calling within you? And ultimately, it comes down just to that. It's like inside you, you already know. Go for your yeses. Go for what lights you up. It's as simple as that. Go for your dream. Go for what inspires you. Do it. Go for it right now. Simple as that.
Yeah, I love that. And for people who do feel called, could you share a little bit more about just the structure and logistics of the group course that you've mentioned, Remember Your Soul Purpose?
Yeah, so it's a 6-week course, and there's 6 group calls with 3 individual sessions. And the individual sessions will be usually 90 minutes. And these individual sessions will be one with me, one with Cian, and one with Cian. And the 3 of us will actually connect you with your purpose. We'll get you to remember your purpose. We'll get you to actually be clear on your life goals for your career, for your relationships, for all areas. And then we will guide you into tracking that and bring you into the community of people that then will be living their purpose with you together. So overall, 6-week course, 6 group calls, 3 individual calls, and then the manual and the login and the community portal. So that's all the things that are included with this course. And the next one begins on the week of the 17th of May, which is the new moon of May.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. And if you're listening to this and you feel called, I can't wait to meet you and get stuck into this. And there's just so much here to explore. And, speaking from my own experience, this has changed my life so profoundly because it helped me to connect with my soul. As the human here, I'm speaking, and without the connection to the light, without the connection to my soul in this human experience, things are so confusing. Things are so heavy. And I've suffered for so long with different challenges and anxiety, Shane, like you mentioned, and all these different things. And that connection to the light, words cannot describe how meaningful it is to discover that. And for 31 years, I walked around, and before, Myles, you guided me to it, and before you pointed out, I never thought to look. I never thought to seek to find the light that is here right now if we just focus our attention on it. And if I can continue to help more people to connect to that, that is what it's all about. Shane, is that anything you'd like to share?
Well, for 53 years of my life, I was walking around. I didn't know what it was. It was a lot longer for me than it is for ye. But yeah, look, I mean, I keep on saying the same word. is that effortlessness, that when no choice, the choices are easy when you're in the light, when you know what your purpose is and you understand where you're going. And meeting both of you, meeting Myles 2 years ago, and meeting you recently, Cian, I can feel that we're so aligned. We're so aligned. We're so different, but we're so aligned. And that's the key thing, is that we can all be different, we can all be unique, and we're all unique individual people. 8.5 billion people on the planet. We're all different. We're all unique. But when we're in alignment, we're all the same, because we're all following our purpose. We all know what our purpose is. We're understanding our purpose. And that's it. We want a humanity that's aligned and living their sole purpose. And it's simple as that, lads. There's no major effort here. That's it. That's the message,
Let's make it happen.
Make it happen,
Yeah.
Sorry, it happened.
Yes, let's live our dream. Let's all inspire each other to live their dream, and every person that goes and gets clear on their purpose and lives it then inspires the people around them to do the same. And that's the formula, that's the method, that's the most efficient and effective way to change the world, is to become your purpose, to be your purpose, to live it. Live it is just, that's it. So simple. And people around you will look at you feeling more alive and feeling more passionate and feeling more driven and be like, I want to feel that way as well. And because that's the way all humans want to live. They want to feel like they're living in alignment. That's it. And it's so beautiful that the clarity is here. And we'll be going all around the world now, the three of us, and we'll be just there to remind people, like, yeah, you can live your dream. Yeah. You can remember what you're here to do. Yeah, it's not that complicated. It's just about having the courage to say yes to your heart, to say yes to your soul. And that's really it. So ding ding, let the games begin. May 17th. Ding ding.
Yeah.
Thanks, Myles, and thanks, Shane. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's a special edition of the Humankind podcast, and please do join us. And if you like this, you can also subscribe and hit follow wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, stay in alignment.